spoilers today, real quick, catch up with all the Opus 5 ones that we've got. So far we've got 24 out. So we're not going to have like... These are always just great to look at because people will always get things wrong, and we're going to get things super wrong because we can only see about a fifth of the expansion. So...
Yeah, boy.
This is great. All right, first one. We're gonna do all the like ones that we actually think are interesting first, and then we'll do all the ones which we think are kind of not interesting at the end, and you can watch that if you want. So Camel Nort. How do you say his name? I reckon that's right. This dude is freaking good.
Oh, whoops! I've sworn already. It's hell cool though. What the hell? I love how you were like, you're gonna love this, and then I read a spec, and you were right.
Yeah, I literally showed this to you, and I was just like, you are going to find this card just freaking dope. So it's a 5 mana 9k, which searches a card, so it's a 3 mana 9k, which is already good. Then it has a protection effect that protects itself from whatever element that you want. But so that's like a sick body already. But then you
3 for 9 untargetable is like nuts.
Yeah, well, it's so good. But then on top of that,
it's also I like that it deters mono element decks as well. Like I actually don't like the prevalence of mono element decks.
Dude,
like,
that's so true.
Dual element, so it's nice that you can like actually shut down some decks. Shut down in inverted commas, but you know what I mean. I
was actually thinking, like it's been actually my stress just the last, like, 24 hours. It's just, I've been annoyed with the game and how much it's, like, it's actually so hard to find things that beat mono right now. So hopefully we'll have tools that kind of avoid that, and this kind of helps, I guess. It is, like, fighting that fight, so that's cool.
Yeah, well, the fact that it's a dark card that doesn't take up your dark slot on the field either, because it changes away from dark.
Yeah,
it just makes it so funny that it searches Emperor.
So this is like the most important thing. So this card comes into play. It wasn't obvious to me at first, and I remember you having your light bulb moment too, where you read it and you're like, wait, frick, this is a dark card that isn't actually a dark card on the board. So it searches other dark cards, and you'd think it would have dyssynergy, but when you play it, it becomes a different element, and then you can play the dark card that you searched. And
yeah,
then,
well, I didn't even realise, like, at first that it actually changed element. I thought it just, like, gained a different element for, like, the turn, but then I read the next bit, I'm like, oh, what the heck, it's, like, permanent.
Yeah. So it's a dark card that also, well, it can search Emperor and then play Emperor, but the other thing is, it's a dark card that searches Zodiac, and, like, that's insane.
Yeah.
It's a dark card with a sick body that searches Zodiac. I've been wanting to do that in decks since Zodiac came out.
Kill all your opponent's forwards.
Yeah. So yeah, no,
so
this...
it's like a 7 for 9k that breaks all your opponent's balls and you take a damage for each. No, a 5 for 9k in that case, sorry.
Yeah. So this card's just freaking nuts.
Yeah.
I'm all about this. I don't know what else you can do. You can...
Well, that's also good because it can search either Zodiac or Emperor. You can either search if you don't need removal, like if you're setting up, you can get Emperor, and then if you are pushing, you get Zodiac. Like that flexibility, that's like a huge flexibility. Like there's a huge difference between those two cards.
Yeah. I suppose if you're running it with Emperor, there's no reason not to throw Zodiac in that deck, right?
I feel like that. I mean, just a one-off, like.
Yeah. All right, sweet. We got through one, and my thing fell off. It's okay. Yeah. Anyway, that's enough about Camel Nort. Illua.
Are we recording?
Yeah, we're recording.
Yeah. No, Illua. That is like the definition of power creep. I'm actually like semi-annoyed at how many things this card does.
Yeah, like, I don't know, like the 6k haste with like an untargetable body, or like semi-untargetable body, is like an okay card. Like, I don't know
That's fine, there's nothing wrong with that.
I don't know if it's good enough that I would like ever play that, like now, since the meta's already crept forward a fair bit.
Oh yeah, for sure, it's like, with that it'd be like, fine, but not like great. But the special was like, so silly. It does everything.
That's the whole thing. The special's like insane.
Yeah. It doesn't just do everything. It also breaks some things too. Like being able to give everything haste is like silly. There's a lot of cards that are balanced by the fact they can't be hasted, right? And that's like Red's thing, is to like give things haste, kind of that goblin stuff. So I'm annoyed that Lightning can do that again now as well. Why does Lightning keep getting all of Red's things?
What do you mean? Lightning did this. It had Red Mage.
Oh yeah, but that costs like, yeah, like.
It's
like a combo card, you know what I mean? Like this gives all your stuff haste.
Yeah, giving all your stuff haste is like really insane. Like there are actually like we're working up to the point where you can start doing one-turn kill combo decks. Like I kind of thought like with the gimmick, because you showed the one-turn kill combo that you could do with your Onion Knight, Onion Knight Hope loop, and you draw your entire deck.
Oh yeah, it's Hope Moogle. Sorry, Hope Mog, No, and Ramza.
Yeah. And like that was cool, but I'm like, what if we took it further and somehow gave them all haste, and then this card got announced the next day? So,
yeah, no joke, that's pretty funny.
I think that's still a while off, but like the combo is imaginable.
Across, like, that's heaps of like elements that you need in your deck to be able to do all of that. And
oh yeah, 100%. It's not realistic.
Yeah, but still, it is a nice thought. But there's the fact that this not only gives all you guys haste if you need it, it also, in your opponent's turn, activates all you guys and neg powers their board as well. Like, it's like a combat trick on offense and defense and a kill card.
It's a 0-mana Sylph that gives them neg 2000 to your opponent's board. 0-mana Sylph. Yeah. It's neg 2000 though. And it doesn't even target, so you can't interrupt the Sylph. It's like, it's just,
yeah.
I don't know, the special is one of the best effects in the game. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's one of by far the most like crazy deterrents. Like, the fact that it's special, you can't even like, even if there's only 3 copies of it, it's not even searchable, you still don't know if your opponent has it or not. It's like,
yeah,
it's so hard to play around that.
But yeah, I think the card is, or other than that, I think the card's like almost entirely a special, but it's like, I don't know, there may be things that buff like FFTA2. Wow. Yeah,
well, that's a good point. That's FFTA2, which we don't have any cards in that yet, except this one and one of the ones that we'll talk about in the boring section.
It could be a whole nother archetype, like 6 was.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, the special's just sick. Alright, Noel. Why do you love Noel? You asked me to put this on the list. I think he's cool too, though.
I think okay, the main reason I love it is because it's basically an ice card. I realize it is fire element, but it is essentially an ice card. That's mainly because it's obviously Sarah, the backup. Sarah gives a +2k, so it goes to 9k. That's what makes it. Without being 9k, it's not that great. It's like it's a 4-cost 7k is like. Bad,
agreed. Right?
Yeah. 4-cost 9k is good. Like that's decent. That is solid. You know, it's a solid body. By itself, that'd be bad. But the fact that you always have this body, like it's essentially a light 4-cost 9k that doesn't contribute to your hand size.
Yeah. No. It's like it's kind of like I think this is one of the most interesting things to me about it is kind of like state of the game kind of thing and moving forward and what we're going to get from expansions. Because when you think of the search backups, like the 3-mana search backups, and you'll find cards, there was always the idea of like, you know, you'll find like a card that you want to throw in the bin for Devout, and that was just like one of your, it's cards that you want early just so that they're there later, like, and so now this is, now we've also got Bran searching standard units to throw in the bin for Gladiator to bring back. So what I'm doing now in like a lot of water decks is I'm running like one of Dark Knight because it's kind of like it buffs things as a battle trick. And now you've got Mog to find the Knoll, and if you're just doing any, then you just throw it out. You run the 1 copy of Knoll, find it with Mog, and throw it away. So
yeah, and like Fire and Ice is already really like good pairing, so there's like no issue with that at all. And because I just want to point out, some people might not appreciate it. It's like its ability costs 6 technically, but like as you talked about in your video, you're getting that card out of the break zone, so it is still like a 4-cost when you bring it out with its effect because you're not actually using up a card in your hand.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean when it's like a 4-cost blanket you always have. And the main thing, this is one of the big things to me. So like discard has never. There isn't enough cards in this game that actually support discard. Like discard itself is not really a strategy just because there's nothing that benefits from that. Like nothing that it benefits you rather than your opponent. But this does. This means that you can put both your hands to 0 and you still have a play. And you're
guaranteed to have a play. Yeah, no, that's actually super. Wow, actually, it has, and that has synergy with the discard.
That's why I say it's an ice card, right? Like it's literally an ice card.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I get that. That's actually cool.
Those are the 2 things that I love about it.
Yeah, no, that's basically everything.
The fact that the Sarah backup is already a good card as well, like that is a huge factor in its favor. Like if there was not a good Sarah backup, I would be much less interested in it. But yeah,
there's so many Sarahs that like if you're playing one that's going to be on the board a lot, you just throw the 1-off Knoll in, get free stuff every now and then.
No reason not to, right?
Refia. I'm ready to Vike some people.
I have Knoll next on my list. No, we just talked about that. Refia,
yeah. So I don't know, like I think it's just like I groan because I'm sick of mono water. Well. I've been sick of mono water for so long, but
water support. Let's just shoehorn water into mono all the time.
It's like, yeah, well, that's the thing. It's just like it incentivizes mono water and it doesn't incentivize not mono water. But we have like enough incentive to already play mono. Like all the mono decks are winning.
As it is, like we don't need another card that's if you play all water cards. This is really good.
Yeah. So I'm kind of not super keen for what it does to the game.
I'm annoyed about that too. It does seem nuts in my head. Like it might not be as good. Like as power level goes up and it's harder to end up with a field that you can do that reliably. But like that does seem ridiculous. That is like not summoning sickness. It's 0 CP bouncer guy. Like that's crazy. Every turn.
Yeah, well, it basically produces Leviathans, except that you can use like your Vikings and your Go-Go's and your Lenas to like pay for the Leviathans as if they're backups. Yeah. Nah, not keen. Not as like it's really good. I'm just like sad that water has it. So.
Yep.
So
it had to be in water, hey.
It had to. Well, yeah, it had to be water.
Everything has to be water.
So the next one, Warrior of Light, brings it out.
What the heck? It gives things buffs as well. I didn't even read this part before. Why does it give all your water guys plus 1k?
Oh, what? Yeah, no, that's the thing. Like, it's Waka. It's Waka on legs. It's so silly, right? It's like the card would have been nifty if it just didn't do that. And now it's just, I don't know. I feel like if you're playing mono water, you're just going to be like, oh, cool. this goes in here.
Yep. It's just another one of those cards.
I don't know. It'll be nifty. It'll be kind of fun. It'll be fun to just like. It'll be fun to do Viking things with it because like anything that goes in Vikings makes me happy.
I love I've liked so many people. But anyway. Sorry, I had to use Vike as a verb at some point.
Vike is such a good verb.
Get Viked, son.
Get Viked, son. Alright, Warrior of Light. It dies and it brings Rafir onto the board.
Yeah, I was just thinking that actually, because this brings out a 3 or less cost, right? Sorry, I don't have the English text here, to give it 2 seconds.
Yeah, it is a 3 or less cost, so it's, when it enters the field, reveal the top 5 cards of your deck, and add a Job Warrior of Light to your hand.
Yep.
Then return the others to the bottom.
And then when it dies, you can get it back.
Yeah, and then you, when it dies and put into the break zone, you can choose a Warrior of Light of cost 3 or less in your break zone, play it onto the board. So they like...
You know what you know how we're talking about using Vikings with Refia? You know what's super spicy and is probably not worth playing?
Oh, hell yeah. What's it?
Get that Luneth back.
Luneth.
Vikings haste.
Give your Vikings haste. You don't even need to play fire. You just play the Luneth.
I've dreamed of this moment, by the way. I've literally tried to shoehorn Luneth into like Viking decks for this. Because I just want to summon a bunch of Vikings in one turn and swing them all.
This is actually just the Viking hype video.
Oh man. I'm fine with that.
Alright, stuff this list. Viking deck showcase. No, but the one problem with it is like you can't just shoehorn it into mono water because you actually need to play like a heap of Warrior of Lights to get like advantage out of its early effect.
That is true also. And mono water also has really good options for light and dark characters already, like Zidane, obviously, if you're playing like 9 Ancient, but then there's like Emperor as well, is also good in water, etc.
Yeah. Oh, Colin just woke up. We could have had him in the video.
Yeah, try and bring him in if you want.
But yeah, no, you definitely need Yeah. It still goes in a Viking deck, maybe. No,
yeah, I'd do it.
Yeah, I don't know. If you're playing Warrior of Lights, like I thought it was. I don't know. It like puts it over the edge if you can find a way to crash the body and stuff. I don't know if it works with the like original Legendary Warrior of Light, like for specials. I don't know if that actually fits, but because
I think it's like being 4 cost is really good for the sacking because the Opus 4 deleter, like sacking 4 cost is like the general like sweet spot. It's like
that's true actually,
but not higher that you're not going to see it often. Like 4 costs are pretty common, so I like that.
Yeah. That's true.
Which is the Yellow Warrior of Light. But there might be a new one in this set. In fact, I'm sure there will be. If we've already got a rep here, there's probably going to be one of the others too.
Yeah, definitely. There'll probably be like a second Luneth or something like that.
Yeah, there'll be a second Luneth, I reckon. Those are the other ones, right?
Yeah, those are the other ones. Okay, give me a second.
In like best sets. But yeah, I've got Phoenix next on my list. If you want to talk about that.
Yeah, so Phoenix, choose a forward of cost 3 or less in your break zone, and up to 1 forward opponent controls. So you don't need to target the forward. You can just res a 3-drop should you need it. Play the first dull on the board and deal the second 8,000 damage. So I guess this card, the one thing that to note is you can't, it's dull, so you can't flash block, which kind of sucks. If you could, I'd say this tips the card over the edge to where I'm like, okay, this is definitely playable. But
I kind of like that it's not like blatantly overpowered. Like I like that it just depends on what you're bringing back, right? Like that is what makes like the 8k is really nice. Like 8k is a good number because that kills Emperor for starters, but like a lot of you'll probably be able to kill a board with it most of the time. So like you're basically paying 4 for 8 damage plus getting the 3 cost of your choice essentially.
Yeah.
Which is like the fact that you get a 3 cost instant speed though is so much better than the Phoenix that we already have, which is only 2 costs. Like there are some cool 2 costs you can get with Phoenix out, but a lot of them you wouldn't normally be playing them. Like you put them in there because of Phoenix. Whereas there's a lot of 3 costs that we already play that are good to bring out an instant speed. And like the one that comes to my head straight away in fire is the Legendary BB. Like you can bring that out with this and ping something else off as well, and because they're more likely to have more cards in their hand during their turn.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That actually that makes sense because you get the more damage off with a VV. But I don't know what else is
cool
like
stuff as well. Like you can bring back you can discard your opponent during their turn and like stuff like Shulk.
Shulk was the coolest one you pointed out to me.
Yeah.
But I think it's just a matter of like what 3-drops are there that are like really, really high value, and is there ever a moment where we wanted them?
Actually a list somewhere.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because I remember that I was talking about this on a thread.
Because if you bring back a Zidane with it, so what do you get? It's like you draw a card. So imagine it's like a 5 mana summon that plays a 7k and kills an 8k.
Heroic Zidane and take away your opponent's like next play. that's pretty cool.
Oh, true. Actually, that's heaps sick.
Yeah. And there's stuff like Strago.
You could get Dorgan.
You can get like Black Orcs 3 and like Lightning and like -2 power. There's like Randy combustion like that. That's probably not the biggest one, but like there are others like that.
Is it worth it to get Dorgan on like their turn and then so he's like ready to go?
That could be alright. Yeah, that makes Dorgan potentially more feasible.
Yeah.
See, that's what I mean. Like the 3 costs are just so much more interesting.
Yeah, they are. There's like so much stuff that we can do with this that we couldn't do with the old Phoenix. I guess like, I don't know, Hildebrand's kind of cool, because if you have the Nashu backup and you want to see as much Hildebrand as possible.
Yeah.
Oh no, but he comes in dull, so there's no point. Like whatever you would have. No, okay, that's terrible.
So you know what you can do though. So if your opponent's got Refer out and they use your ability, you can Phoenix in your I forgot my name already. Ritz.
Oh my gosh. Yep.
Plays. No, I should be talking about 3 costs that are actually good, not.
Yeah, 3 costs that are actually good. Well, that's the thing. Like, I think the typical example of the 3 cost that's good is Zidane, but I think Shulk's even better actually. Yeah. So, I think Shulk's
I think also
the best one.
Part of Zidane's power comes from the fact that it costs less when you play it from your hand, and like you're not getting the benefit of that with Phoenix. So that's like takes a little bit away from it being like how good it is. But yeah. Yeah, stuff like Shulk and things like that, and so especially the fact that Shulk can bring you out a blocker as well.
Yeah.
And you can use the surprise blocker, like a Warrior of Light or something, you know.
So let's do like the math on Shulk, just because the fact is that you have access to Shulk more times than you normally would. That's the kind of thing like Shulk needs a toolbox because it's so situational. Yeah. So the math on Shulk is if you get Shulk, then your opponent loses a card, so -2 mana, and then you also get the discount on the other card you were going to play, so -2 mana again. So it's down to 3 mana. You're paying 3 mana for a 5k body and 8k damage to kill something. So, that's basically like legendary VV. I don't know.
Yeah, very similar. But you also like the body you get. Yeah, it is like that.
It's basically the same value as legendary VV. But that's the thing. This is why I wasn't too keen on it. That's kind of like best case scenario because Shulk's one of the best examples.
Oh, that's not taking into account the 2 costs that you get out, right? That also is like a combat trick too potentially. It's something like Warrior of Light or something like that.
Oh no, that's true. Okay, yeah, because you
that's a blocker.
Bring in something that could like flash block. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's actually a way you could flash block with this. Okay,
yes.
If you use it on Shulk and flash block, it's a really, really good card. Other than that, it's like maybe playable, but probably not.
I feel like most of the value you're going to get out of this card is whatever value you get from the instant speed effect that you get off your 3 cost.
Yeah. Definitely.
So like, a discard is always going to be essentially the same value.
Yeah.
But depending what like other 3 costs, depending how much value you get out of that effect, like a combat trick or something like that, maybe trade down like heaps hard or something like that, then you can scale your value sort of thing. You know, if like a 3 cost kills a 6 cost because you got a combat trick out, then that's like
Yeah. No, it'll all depend on what 3, like it opens up sick combos, and that's cool.
Yeah.
So I like it for that reason.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, you told me to put Sarah on this list. I wasn't super hype about this card, but why do you like it?
Yeah, no, this I as fucking Sam, I swore again, I'm sorry. Sam tagged me in his post. I feel like this card was literally made for my stupid loop. Like, it is.
Oh my gosh, true.
It covers like 2 problems in one. It's an EX searcher that searches like any color that you need.
Yeah.
So part of the problem with the loop is that it's in multiple colors. So it's in ice, which is already the color that I prefer as the other color for the loop.
Yeah.
And then it solves the main issue where even if you have an infinite attacking on your knight, you have to actually get it through your opponent's board. And this just doesn't care about that. Like, because you're drawing your entire deck, and it just gives you a way to machine gun dollar your opponent's guys. Which is like so cool. So handy. Like, I'm so glad that exists.
That's so cool.
Like,
I gotta know what because you draw all of the Moogles and then you just tap down
exactly.
everything. Okay.
And that means unless you redundant your like Moogles that you're playing already without that being a bad thing.
That's heaps sick, actually.
Like it just
okay, now I understand.
Well. Like,
yeah.
This for this. Like...
Okay, so hopefully one day we'll see the loop in action.
And also the on-attack thing's really useful as well for like setting up.
Sorry?
Also the on-attack activate your Moogles help with setting up as well, because I think it's an extra draw off log and like activates your backups again, so you get to pay for more stuff.
Well, you can do the entire loop in the battle phase. Hey.
Yes, this will give you the extra mana you need to get started if you need that, potentially. That's like pretty situational.
This isn't even bad. What the heck? It's legit like Kageyama saw your loop and I just like, I like what this Chris Matiske boy brings to the table. Like,
still don't know whether this will be competitively viable or not, but it's cool that they gave
no, it's not competitively viable, but it's hella neat.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, cool. Fair enough. Yeah, the expert search is also super good. In a typical game, it depends on how good Moogles get. I don't see them.
Yeah. Well, that being said, also it is nice that Mog 13 is a Moogle and that also searches it. So like that is a nice little mini engine, I reckon, because like discarding 2 Moogles with this is like casting Shiver, right? Like you're paying 2 mana and losing.
Yeah.
You're using up 4 mana worth of cards, rather. Sorry. So like that's pretty cool. More Shivers is good.
Yeah. Well, it's got 3 effects, so it can't be bad, right? And one of them makes Shivers.
So like I still think it's a decent card for sure.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, it makes sense to me. It seems playable. Miyun. Okay, this one's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I'm a pretty big fan of this too. You go on.
This, well, I think like the first thing I thought of was Wind, Earth, Mill, and you play this and you bounce your Shantotto back to your hand.
Yep. Shantotto's pretty high on that list.
Yeah, but you don't even need like. It's like anything, man. Like if
searches, like the searches is a huge deal, obviously, right? Like,
yeah, it's like anything that has a low entry cost or like something like gets like legit anything that's worth playing for its entry effect, you get value from playing this card, or at least you go even, and it has the utility of being able to play it again. Like for example, Shantotto. But if you bounce Pain, it's like, I think you just draw 2 cards for 0 mana. I think that's like the way the efficiency works out, something like that. It's like...
If you bounce who, sorry?
If you bounce Pain.
Wait, hang on, can this bounce forwards as well?
It can bounce anything.
Oh my god, I haven't read it in ages. I actually didn't even register me. I was thinking bouncing backups. What the heck? Yeah, that's heaps good.
Yeah. If you bounce a 0 mana card like Izana, then you still drew a card for nothing.
Pain is neg 2 cost as well. Like,
but Pain is... Exactly. So I'm pretty sure it's the cost efficiency is the same as like drawing 2 cards for 0 mana.
Yeah, something like that.
And you activate Pain, like if it already attacked that turn. So
yeah, there's that, yeah.
But yeah, no, it's amazing. If you bounce Shantotto, it's basically the same as playing this card. It's like replacing the Shantotto on board with this card in hand, and then you get the cost back to play this card as well.
Oh yeah, because it draws as well. What the heck? Yeah.
Yeah, it draws you a card after you do it. It could have not drawn a card, and I still would have put it in combo decks, but it draws you a card, dude.
Sure. Yeah, that's crazy. What the heck? Yeah, sorry. I had in my head, I was like, oh yeah, you bounce back when you play it.
Yeah, it's like replace the Shantotto on board with this blank evoker, and you have Shantotto back in your hand, and that costs 0 mana. That's essentially what this card is doing.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's
the 2-cost backup as well, at worst.
Yeah, you can do that to Marswell, and you can do it to Rob, and you can do it to a whole heap of really cool stuff. So yeah, I'm all about this.
Yeah, for sure. Hell keen.
Okay, Porum. Why is this card a card when Emperor is a card?
Which card are we talking about now, sorry? Still
Porum.
Oh, Porum. Yeah, no. Oh, this Porum's so good. Let me quickly get it back up again so I remember exactly what it does. Yeah, no. Well, I love the card. It is interesting though that it, it's hell good. Like I actually love this card. Who are you talking to?
Just my housemate. It's all good.
Oh, cool. Good. We'll cut that out.
Yeah. Yeah. So the entry effect is like pretty neat. Like
so cool. I love it. Like a 2 for 5k that instead of drawing, you actually get to like scry. I guess is the word.
I just like and the action ability is like really good, obviously, because it's like similar to Emperor, but it's like you're also paying 2 mana for a 5k.
Yeah, at least though, like I guess you're paying for the scry, right? And you get the body, so it's like sort of like a Viking-ish. You know, it's like a give you a card and get your body. But the fact that the body does something other than be a body is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And like for reference, that also covers the one thing that 7 doesn't. So like, that's cool.
The one thing that 7 doesn't.
Yeah, so like, 7 cancels specials or autos.
The old one
too.
too.
I've been against 7 and I know Snake Bite's there. It's like, well, at least I can use all this stuff. But all that stuff doesn't work against Porum.
Yeah, I guess if you have Snake Bites, then you kind of...
I'm not talking about you like playing them together. I just mean that like, that's an avenue that hasn't been explored yet. Like having something that can cancel all action abilities hasn't been in the game yet, other than Emperor, obviously. But like...
Yeah, no, it is an interesting thought. I suppose if Emperor wasn't already a card, this would be like a crazy interesting card, because like nothing does this. But I like because
this is also good. Like you showed me the 1-cost Porum and like how cool it is having that as like a combat, as a combat trick, but like just like an instant speed pulling out another forward.
Yeah.
And, like this is all right. Like that's you get your semi-search effect off of that.
Yeah, well, I suppose, you can also, if you're doing a Porum engine thing, you can have, like, one of these in, and then just, like, do cool, like, scry when you need to, and if you know you need to deny action abilities, and have, like, a Porum toolbox.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's the thing, 1-mana Porum's, like, one of my favorite cards in the whole game.
It is really cool, yeah, and I completely ignored it until you used it against me. I'm like, this is interesting, actually. But it's pretty interesting.
I don't know how to gauge it, honestly. I think it's really neat. Yeah. I just don't know how to gauge it.
Does this ability cost 1? Yeah, it costs 1. Yeah,
costs 1. I don't think it will be. It could be like a one-of in mono water. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It might show up as one-ofs in things. It might show up in Porum engines. It might not be played at like. It can easily be a one-of. I think.
Being able to like look and choose what you want, and you also. Mildly, you get the information of what's not going to draw as well. Like those 2 cards put on the bottom, you know that you're not going to see them for a while.
That's a considerable thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that information. I like the choice you get.
Okay, so for moment,
Timing Tower might be not impactful enough in the stronger meta, but we'll see.
Yeah.
EX is pretty crazy for that effect too.
But yeah,
because everything in water has to be EX for some reason.
Oh yeah, everything in water has to be EX. That's it. Like you can put it in if you have a utility spot spare.
Yeah.
You can be like, oh, Porum, it gives me more X burst and like neat stuff.
And it's a forward EX as well. Forward EX is like hard to come by.
Yeah. Yeah, true. Momedy. 0 mana gives something brave.
This actually reminds me of the So once upon a time, I was looking at the chapters cards, and there's a Gipple in the first set, which is 4 cost, and it gives all your Earthfords Brave, just passively. And at the time, I was like, that's nuts. Now, it would not be very nuts. But, like, this is kind of like that. It's like a 3 cost that essentially gives one of your guys Brave a turn, but like that's a lot of the time that's going to be just the same as giving all your Earth forwards Brave. The fact that it does not Earth is really good as well.
I think, yeah, what the heck? It's not even just Earth forwards. I was thinking it was only Earth forwards. You could give anything Brave.
Onion Knight is like the thing that comes to my mind straight away, because I love that card and its stupid things you can do. But like, I think this is sick with Onion Knight just because you get it's 2 attacks but instead of 1.
I think any body that kind of protects itself is good to do this. Like, imagine doing this with like Golbez. Like, give your Golbez Brave.
Yeah, that's good. Capricious Reaper as well. Like all those Deleter.
Yeah.
All those like forwards that are hard to kill, but they aren't threatening because they can only either attack or block.
Yeah, or cheap huge bodies as well is good too. Like if you're in those end of game like water skirmishes, if your knight has Brave, it's almost the same as having 2 knights. So
yeah, there's that too.
So yeah, Brave is sick. Like it's totally worth its cost. The one problem with it is it's like annoying it from a deck building perspective because it almost seems so good that you want to play 3, but that's like bad for consistency because you draw it.
Yeah, and because Earth has so many good not even cost backups already.
Yeah.
Like, I hate this about building Earth decks. There's like all these backups that I want to play, and like, these are hell sick. But then I don't have like any backups I can play turn 1.
Yeah.
And I want to play like 10 to 12 2-cost backups equivalents.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I think it's just cool. We can tell exactly how good it is. It's really good. It's really.
Yeah. Nah, it's hell cool card though for sure.
Diablos. So. It's interesting because there's a heap of little things that you can already do for that mana cost, but it gives you
flexibility.
Yeah, it's like
and the fact that it can be 0 cost. The last of it, right? It's all backups. Like your wind cards where they all activate your stuff or whatever, and they're like essentially 0 cost. That's cool. That you can do one of those effects for free.
If you can get to 5 backups, which you probably can because you're playing.
Well, you normally do, right? That's your wind deck's not working properly, right? If you don't.
Yeah. Like, I guess there's one thing, choose a forward of cost 5 or more, break it. So what you can do if you have 5 backups is you can play Alexander, and then you can play the Azura from your hand, and you've untapped everything. Oh, but that cost you another card. So that's not the same cost. That's 2 cards.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is better than Alexander and Azura together. And then I guess it gives you a whole bunch of other options. But like Alexander's not a good card.
Yeah, well the 4 or less is the like make a power 1k is like the good part, right? Like that's
I think so.
The main thing that you're looking at here.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, you got Cactuar, right? Like that's the whole thing, I guess.
If you can do that
like
for
or some crap like that, and just make a guy 1k and kill it, I don't know. Yeah, it seems.
If you can do that for 0 mana, that's like pretty neato.
Yeah. Now the more I think about it though, because it's probably best as like a combat trick, right? Like during your opponent's turn even. So the backups, activating backups maybe is not that relevant. Because obviously you don't care if you're doing your opponent's turn unless there's something you want to do, like Valor or something. But like, I guess maybe it's better as like if your opponent has a 5k, they swing like a 4k or whatever, then you use this, make that 1k block it and kill the 5k. That's like a 2-for-1, sort of.
The reason that I love this card, and I really hope that it's actually good, because it's like marginally better than a lot of other things you can do, but it like needs ways to line up, is the amount of counterplay and setup that you can put into this card. It's like if you are playing against this card, there's heaps of thought. Be like, oh, if my opponent has Diablos, I should really try to avoid situations where they can resolve both of Diablos' effects and get value out of both parts of the effect. Yeah. And that's like really hard to think of.
Pretty like versatile set of combat tricks. Like it does cover like a lot of situations. Like essentially, if you're assuming everyone has Diablos, there's a lot of times where you probably won't be able to attack, right?
Yeah.
Of those effects.
Yeah, exactly. That's so true. Yeah. If you have like any 5 cost and a 4 cost, then Diablos can kill both of them.
Sure.
But yeah, it's super interesting. The 2 mana lightning with haste that returns to the hand at the end of the turn.
Yeah, I have to admit, I will have trouble judging this without seeing it in action. I am having trouble visualizing how good or bad this is.
Yeah. I have no idea how good or bad it is. I can think of combos, and like one of them is like it's a cool card to get out of Golbez because it fuels your lightning specials, and you kind of get cash back for your Golbez, which maybe is something you want.
Also, with Golbez though, you kind of want to be winning the game with those forwards, right? Like if you resolve Golbez, you kind of want to win off that board presence, or you're just going to lose in the long run, right? So
well, that's the thing. Maybe not. That's
Exactly,
this is what this gives you the option for, is like you don't necessarily need to play that way. You can kind of get money, but you get refunded for playing your gold bears, and you only get some of the value.
Yeah, it's hard because it takes value away from you, but then it's also a like hasty thing that is hard to kill. It's like a constant threat. I don't know.
Yeah, and the other one obviously is the Kafka. You play it and
yeah.
and you threaten Kafka every single turn, and then it bounces instead of dying. So that's a combo.
That is cool, but you're still paying 3 mana every turn for that without actually gaining anything. Right?
No. You're paying 2 mana to deal a damage, and if it gets blocked, you're paying 3 mana to remove a forward. But that's 3 mana and no cards.
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah, so it's like 2 mana to threaten a damage or kill a forward every turn. So I think that's actually a thing that could happen if there was a lightning deck that was already running Kafka. Oh wait, and you can magic pot this into big lightning in that deck. So
yeah, that is cool, but
yeah, lightnings were already good with magic pot and Kafka, so that's already a deck. Vermilion Birdless Sea K-Tuna. Sea-Tuna?
Yeah, wait, sorry.
I'm just gonna call her Tuna.
Yeah, that's something or other.
She's now Tuna.
Absolute things. Yeah, it's a gross up. I mean, yeah, the EX is good.
The fact that it's like an EX searcher is heaps cool.
I really hate the color it's in though. I'm so mad it's in red. That's like the not good type 0 color. But
well, it's here's the thing. It's searching summons. That's the reason I don't like it now. Is it's garbage now because all of the type 0 summons are terrible, except for Diablos. Diablos is playable. Oh wait, there's a new Diablos.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I like the Odin. Oh no, I don't really. I don't actually like Odin anymore.
No one likes the Odin.
Like the Odin. I don't now. It's too bad.
I remember the price of Legendary Lightning came up because they're like, oh, there's a new Odin coming out.
Yeah,
I'm like, what are you talking about?
No, I'm still in my type 0 like mindset is still in Opus 3 because I just ignored them after Opus 4 because they literally got nothing and they're already bad.
Yeah. Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I've
used... like the special ability is like win or lose.
Her special ability is
now.
Her special ability is the whole reason that I think she's interesting because like
for sure. It's something that cadets needed for sure. They can't afford clear, which is one of their major weaknesses.
I'm not even thinking cadets. I'm thinking if you were playing a type 0 summon, is this card good enough to just throw in any random fire deck you make?
Yeah, that's true. If there's a good red type 0 summon that comes out, then there's a lot more possibility for that for sure.
I think it's so I think it's such a cool way to close out a game. Like, what if you did Firewater Vikings and you just save up this?
You mean, what if I did, which I already have tried, but anyway.
I'm sure. That's what we didn't say about the Phoenix. The Phoenix can bring back the 3-mana Viking. I can sell you on any card if I just, tell you that it's a Viking. It's a Viking
easily.
card.
You already that has already put this back on the map.
Yes! Come on. Alright. But yeah, no.
Yeah, so no, that's cool. That's
heaps cool for closing out games. Minfilia.
Oh, one thing about this bird actually that I just realized, because I keep thinking they have summons. If they see it coming, they have summons not die that turn or whatever. But against Clyone decks, this is a really nice way to close out the game. In my head, because they can't even stop you.
That's true, unless they have Emperor on the board.
Clyone, it clears their board through Clyone, which nothing does basically except Shanto.
Yeah.
And also they can't stop you.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense to me. No, that makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
Minfilia. This is kind of the last of the kind of interesting cards.
Yeah, well, it obviously depends how good the Scions of the Seventh Dawn are going to be. The rest of them.
It can give you. Yeah, I think what I'm more interested about is that this almost looks like, it's an interesting replacement for the other Surge backup, which we kind of expected we'd get, the 14 Searcher.
Oh, hang on. Oh right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean a backup cover card's pretty cool. First time I've seen that.
Yeah, backup. It's the first time we've seen a backup cover card, but I think it's interesting for the replacement of the kind of searches that we expected.
Yeah,
or maybe
that's
it's
true.
not a
Yeah,
replacement.
there's-
But I think it's a cool
it might be.
alternative to
Well,
that.
You're probably right. Like honestly, I mean, there's not that many 14 characters out anyway, and one of them is a Scion. So
I think a 4-mana searcher with X burst on search is a great way to like start like an archetype, because then you get to search the archetype more often. But then you also have this really sick effect for having the backup out as well. That only works with your archetype.
Especially on a pseudo 2-cost backup, and the fact that it lets you play another one as well.
It's really good for something on a pseudo 2-cost backup if you're fulfilling
100%.
the archetype, which you probably are. She also, she also counts towards her own. She counts towards her own, so you only need 4 others. Just by the way, so it's a bit easier to pull off than it initially appears.
My one worry is that they're going to release the Scions across all the different elements, but
That's true.
I guess in starter deck you would assume there would be at least 5 for it, right? Like you assume they would have its ability able to be activated in the starter deck, and the starter deck's only 2 colors, so they will kind of keep it within. You know, what color? What's the other color in the starter deck?
Oh, I actually don't know. I think
It's
it was.
not
It's
ice.
lightning.
I know
It's
it's not ice
it's
or fire.
lightning. It's lightning because we've got
Is
we've got another one spoiled. We've the haste
No,
backup.
she's not in the starter deck, I don't.
I'm sure.
No,
I
lightning,
imagine
yeah,
she would
must
be.
Yeah, no, it is lightning. Yeah, it's Earth lightning.
As for Alisei now, this is a card. Okay, the rest of these are just going to be pretty straightforward. Alisei, depends if the Scions need haste, right?
Yep. So about the same thing, yeah, if the Scions are good.
Yeah, like if the Scions are good, then this is pretty good. If you have Alpha Nord, okay, it's a 3-mana backup that gives your entire archetype haste. That sounds awesome, honestly. It just depends if your archetype is good.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm giving Ishtola haste is kind of funny.
Giving Y'shtola haste is kind of funny. I actually do like that.
Actually, that's the one thing I forgot to mention about Nymphilia, which I'm sure you already realized as well, is that it does give a search to like Dataluma Ishtola. Because that was my whole thing.
Oh wow, and that's it's on the color too.
Yeah, it's on color, yeah. So like that's cool. It doesn't search Dataluma, but it searches the Ishtola, which is searchable, so that's cool.
Yeah, that's heaps cool.
It's like a minor buff to that interaction.
And the Chocobo is just a neat card that can come out of Fat Chocobo. I can't think of a good use for its effect yet.
Yeah, it's just the one you bring out if you don't have a reason to haste them.
I suppose so.
Yeah, but that's still like 7k being able to be buffed to 9k is noticeably stronger than 6-bit going to 8, right? Like now
it is.
You know, like that 9k line is pretty important, I think. So that's actually cool. Like I think maybe the 1k extra is not as irrelevant as it looks.
Yeah,
we'll see, I guess.
The Fat Chocobo did do things just a little bit ago. I don't know if it's like kept up, but it's like definitely
it's
decent.
Really good card. I think anyway. I've said from the start that I think that card's really good, but we shall see.
And the Sky Pirates, Varn and Ash. Varn is still garbage. The new Varn is also garbage.
They hate Varn. I don't get it. Why do they keep releasing like Varns that just don't do anything?
We could also be entirely wrong about this. Like maybe there's.
I mean, if the new Sky Pirates are good, like if there's more Sky Pirate backups, that's like could be really good.
Well, yeah,
there's
like
one at the moment is Fran.
The other thing is like you're finally able to build a full Sky Pirate archetype which has a backup which is really good.
Yeah, Penelo is good.
Their Waka costs 2 mana, so.
Yeah, it is the worst of those kind of backups though, just because it locks you into only specific forwards. But yeah, if those forwards are good enough, then that might not be such a drawback.
Yeah. So these 2 cards help you do your Balthier cannon, where Balthier just untaps a million times and shoots things down.
Yeah, there's that.
I think that's kind of neat. I like that Ash is a 1 mana 7k.
Yeah, for sure. It's much better than Hope in a Sky Pirate deck for sure.
Yeah, honestly, Ash isn't bad. Like Ash, if you're actually, if you can
once.
build Sky Pirates, a 1 mana 7k that then gets buffed by your 2 mana backup as well. So it's a 1 mana 8k, and then it's got a cool effect that's like that's actually pretty relevant.
She is a princess.
Oh no, she's
She actually turns
damn.
off your Penelo. That's so
Are you
bad.
kidding me? Okay, I'm so angry. I'm so triggered
Whose
by
idea was this?
Whose idea was this? No. Oh, that's so upsetting. Maybe they'll reprint Penelo and just say it buffs Sky Pirates anyway.
Yeah. Or buffs princesses as well.
Van's special is kind of okay. Warrior of Light did it already. Simpsons already did it.
It is basically Warrior of Light special, I guess.
Okay.
It's like, meh.
Vayne, the current Lasser is kind of meh. Other than that, 1 mana 6k with an X burst. It's like
Yeah,
Sarah
if we
with
get
an
more
X
losses,
burst.
it'll be good.
If there's a new Lasser and it's good, if there's ever a good Lasser, this card will be like, well, not ever
Maybe
because
one
power
day,
creep,
not,
but
we'll see.
card's fine if a new Lasser comes out.
Yeah.
And Volker, when Volker enters, something can't block. That's kind of cool. It's kind of like an Armon, but then it's like also, it's like an Armon that can attack. And if you're playing 11, then it's like, if you're playing 11,
Yeah.
you're actually getting forwards out. So it depends on the 11s, but it doesn't look promising right now.
No, I mean, it seems pretty not that great for full cost. Like, it doesn't do enough, you know. But
It seems like a fine card. It's just like, I'm not impressed.
yeah, no. Well, what's going on in my head is that, like, even if you didn't have to control another 11 forward, I still don't think I would like play it at this moment. So my hopes are not high, but
Yeah. I'm so ready for there just to be like all of the 11 support in the world and we look at like idiots for not considering this card.
There's like 3 different polkas and they just never book the other.
Ozma.
Just throw polkas at things.
And
Sorry, Ozma, yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I wasn't impressed by this
Um,
card like much at all. I think its special is sick, obviously, but it's like
Yeah. Special's like pretty crazy, but it's just so funny that it turns itself into a forward that can't be damaged by one card element that won't let it turn into a forward.
Yeah.
It's like,
Can't be
it
damaged
can
by
turn
dark
Emperor,
cards and Emperor
but it's
turns
never
up.
going to.
That would be kind of funny. It will never fight the Emperor, so
Yeah, that is a little bit of a shame for Ozma, but no, it's like it's like an AK that that like is harder to get to, right? And the fact that it's a 0 transformation, not a 1 transformation, means it doesn't have the regular drawback of the transforming monsters, which I hate, where you have to continually pay just for them to be a card. So that's cool. And the fact you can use a special without turning into a forward.
yeah.
I can't actually read the text because it's in Jap, but
I don't know. Actually, it's like I'm not liking it because because it makes Alexander good, and Alexander was like a good card that was waiting for a good target, and this is a good target. So
Yeah.
the trap was already set for Ozma, but then I just realized that's an overreaction. Like that's like one card.
Yeah.
It's like easy enough to just play a 5 mana card. It's safe from most removal, and when you want it to attack, it can, and it just sits there waiting to board wipe people.
Yeah.
But that is
And the
pretty
board wipe
expensive
is actually-
too. To just have a card that sits there waiting to
even though
board
it's
wipe.
I mean, even if this is only a copy of it, it's so searchable. Like, there are so many searches for this card. Like, it's 9, so you get Steiner and Aiko. Oh, not Aiko, so she's 4 turn. You get Steiner, and then you also get all the monster stuff. So you get, like, Realm and Kefka.
Yeah, you do have Realm and Kafka. So I guess
So, like-
it's actually really easy to piece this card's special together.
Yeah,
And
so that's alright.
yeah, Realm and Steiner in this card's color as well. So yeah, I don't know. It also feels like a Shantoto effect that just like sits there for a bit, but then like
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's really good.
I mean, again, it's a board wipe. Like, you know, Water does rely a lot on Kagnazo for board wipe, and, like, that's not going to go away anytime soon, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know, this could give you a board wipe in a dual color water deck that doesn't have a board wipe. Maybe.
It's certainly an
Like,
interesting
or something,
card,
you
and
know?
I like it because it's interesting.
Yeah, it is pretty interesting.
When Luso enters the field, reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. Add a category FFTA2. Why would I want to say that? Furtek.
We only know one so far as well as the other spoiled card in Lure. So it's really hard to judge this card.
Well, the other spoiled card was really good, so...
Yes, exactly. So maybe the
Oh, no, Illawa.
card.
Illawa is from
Yeah,
this.
it's Illawa.
Oh, no, and the other one is, Momo, whatever.
Oh, is that
Brave
tier
backup.
2?
Yeah,
No,
Brave.
it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
No, it's not.
I'm 90% certain it's not.
No, it's not. It's not. Sorry, they got spoiled together. That's why I'm thinking they're the same. But no, they're not. That actually wouldn't make sense. I just realized the art is totally different.
Yeah. But no, yeah, it's obviously impossible to judge this card without knowing the other FTA2 cards.
Yeah. I'm not impressed. Like they need to be really good for this.
And its ability is meh. Like, yeah, 4-7.
I'm not impressed. If the cards are awesome, then this will be. They need to be like really good for this card to even be playable. Even then, so I think this card's terrible.
Yep.
Heretic Knight Garland. I thought this card was meh. Then I realized it
Actually,
had Brave.
interesting. I don't mind this card.
I actually think it's fine.
Yeah.
I think it's a cool one-off.
I mean, obviously, if there's a target, it's hell good.
If it's a target that's like Devout or Maria, then it's like, oh, this is sweet. It's a 1 mana 8k with Brave, and it has Knight synergy.
Even the other, like, even if it's like a search like an Amadar, or that's a bad example, but like Midfilia, you know, that's still fine to hit. Like, you've still got a 3 for 8k Brave, which is under curve, and
3 mana 8k Brave, maybe with Knight synergy.
Yeah. The fact that it's taking away a backup is like a big deal to me, just because that's also a mana they're going to have next turn as well, but they're not anymore, like...
Well, yeah, actually, that's true. It immediately costs someone a mana, so...
Yeah. And, like, especially if people have, like, dual colour decks, like, take away their one backup of a certain colour, and they've based their play up to that point based on having that backup now. Like, you know, when you play dual colour decks, you're like, oh, I've got one of each colour, now I can sculpt my hand.
One of the frustrating things about playing against that mono ice deck that's popular now that Josh G won with is this like you plan out your turn and then it's just like you don't have that turn now and you get really angry. So disruption's actually like huge.
Yeah.
Actually maybe this card's actually like rather quite good. But
yeah, well, as long as there are 4-cost backups and they are common enough that you will likely see one most games, then I think this card's good.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
4 mana the legendary Palom seems just kind of
Yeah, I'm pretty meh on this as well, hey.
If you control Porum, draw a card. So that's no wait, you don't even get to use the 1 mana Palom very much, like it's got to kill something or deal damage to get its effect off.
That's not going off, like...
Yeah, that card is not as good as the Porum is.
No, not at all. I don't think the 1-cost Palom is.
1,000 damage. It costs 1 mana too.
I don't understand why. But it's Alcid counter.
It does counter Alcid. I don't know. Is that effect useful? Not in a way that I can...
don't think so.
It fixes trades.
You know, it's like Cactuar, but it's awful, right?
It's like Cactuar, but it's awful, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah. I'm not about this card. I can't stand it. It looks really sad.
Yeah, I'm not keen either.
And the Sid Reigns, we're all of the same opinion on this. It's like, you have Mustadio, you have Robin, and you have Masked Woman, and this card's slightly worse than the 3 of those cards. But it's in ice.
It's in the colour that takes more advantage of it, yeah.
And all of those cards are really good, and this is in the colour that didn't have them.
Yeah.
So...
7k is just below what you want for reliability, you know?
Yeah.
Like,